Hi everybody, this is Bookie and I'm speaking for the Good Eve channel. So today I want to talk about money habits that you may have, I may have, anyone may have, that are keeping them from basically being rich. These habits actually make us poor. So the first habit I want to talk about today are spending more as your income increases. Now, what does this mean? You get a promotion at work, they increase your salary. Now, I'm no longer just a supervisor, I'm now a manager. And I have to look like a manager. And I have to that I imagine managers drive and live where I imagine managers live. Spending this money before you've had the time to accumulate it. A situation where you're always on this treadmill of debt. Be careful about lifestyle inflation. Sometimes when you get that promotion, continue living at the same level you've lived before so that you can bank that extra savings. That extra savings and that you invest rightly will accelerate the time it'll take for you to become wealthy. Point number 2, focusing on your present without caring about the future. You know, Instagram has made this so much worse. FOMO. Fear of missing out. You only live once. You get on your Instagram feed and what do you see? Your friends on those fantastic vacations, in yachts, in a thong, rocking out, and you just think, I'm only going to be young once. This body won't look this good forever. Well, you know what? Let me just spend this money. Money will still come. A little bit of that is okay, and life is about striking a balance. But when you do it too often and too much, you find yourself in a situation where you've worked for years. You may even have had a decent income for years, but you have nothing to show for it. It's really, really dangerous, and it's a money habit that can be keeping you from breaking through. 3, thinking that it's too early to start saving. Now look, proudly I'll tell you I'm in my 40s. And I started saving when I was in my 20s. But I remember when I was in my 20s, a lot of my colleagues just felt, I'm not earning enough to save and invest. For what? Especially as women, we felt, well, I'm just going to marry a man anyway who's going to earn so much more than me. My money is for me and his money is for us. So why do I even need to start saving or investing or putting things away? Fast forward 20 years later, not all of us married that rich prince who will take care of everything without us having to contribute. In fact, income levels are placed and the way lifestyles are set and the cost of rent, of fees, of healthcare, and also the black tax supporting our respective extended families means that both of us need to work. Imagine if they had taken that head start in their 20s and put money away. It's never too early to start investing. Never too early. In fact, it's easier to start the younger that you are. You don't have any kids. Perhaps you don't have as many responsibilities. You can live comfortably on less and no one will bat an eyelid. And no one expects you at 25 or 35 to be driving around in a G-Wagon or a very expensive SUV. They're okay if you're just driving a 2-door sedan that's 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10 years old. They're just happy you have a car. So thinking about it's too early to start is a really dangerous mindset that has set a lot of people back. There are people who are in their 50s. When they're getting to their 50s, they now think, now is the time to start putting away money for retirement or if I can't work anymore in the future. It's never too early to start. You should be investing and saving and building all along. Number 4, not keeping a good record of your money. Now, how many times does this happen? It's the end of the month. In fact, it's not even the end of the month. You're 2 weeks into the month. And all of a sudden you look at your bank balance and you're like, where did my money go? There must have been a bandit that hacked my account and stole my money. Now, in some cases, truly you've been hacked and there was a bandit. But in most cases, you are that bandit. You're spending money. Someone comes and says, oh, auntie, I don't know, I need money to balance up something. Can you help me? And you like the fact that they called you auntie. Yes, they respect you. So you dole out, 10,000 here, 20,000 there, 5,000 here. And before you know it, you're in the red. It's important that you get into the discipline of keeping a record of how you're spending money. Now this takes me to the next point. Number 5, lack of budgeting. And they're two separate different things. There are many of us because we are educated, we've learned about budgets. We even have the most fancy apps on our phones for how to budget. We have a budget. I can tell you, according to my budget, I don't spend more than 50% of my income. Let's see reference point 4. How much did you spend in reality? It's one thing to have a budget, which is like, a plan that you're supposed to adhere to monthly. It's another thing to actually adhere to this plan. How many of us stick to it? How many of us have the discipline? Sometimes the issue is the budget is unrealistic. We have a budget that pretends as if we are single, when in fact we're not single. We have children, we have aged parents, maybe we're taking care of. We have so many responsibilities, but we want to budget as if I'm still single, and if I say this month I will only spend 100k, I won't spend more than 100,000 naira. Have a realistic budget. Understand the things you must pay for, because those are the things that will mess your plan up. But some people don't even have a budget. If you don't have a budget, I think that's where you need to start from. Budgets evolve. You adapt them as you go along. You realize that, I didn't take account of certain things. Put a budget in place. There are lots of really good budgeting apps. Many of them are free that you can get online. But it's not just about getting a budget app. It's about actually setting a budget and doing your best to follow the budget within reason. Number 6, being unclear between the difference between your needs, your wants, and then how all those things translate to how much money is in your account. Some people believe that, I must travel every year to Dubai, and then second quarter in the summer, I must travel in the Easter, I must travel every year to Aspen. There's no snow in Africa, I want to ski. And then I must travel in the summer, I must take the children. After all, it's exposure and life experience for them. What would their friends say? And then Christmas, of course I must travel to the village. They must know I'm doing well. What would they think of me or my husband if we don't go to the village in style every Christmas? Those are not needs, my love. They are not. Sorry, but they are not. But to some people, they view them as being needs. Understanding the difference between needs and wants. That's a want. You want to appear that way. You want to let everyone see your lifestyle, or at least certain key constituencies to see your lifestyle, but it's not a need. And it's a trap, because you go this year to the village to show them you come with a convoy of 5 cars. You can't go next year with only 5 cars. It means you have not progressed. You go in a convoy of 5 cars, and the fanciest car this year is a G-Wagon. Next year, make sure you go with a Bentley, or else you have not progressed. And all of a sudden, the year that you can't show up, everybody will know there's something wrong. You're the one that's put yourself under this pressure. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. That mindset, to be able to say, you know what, I will help those I want to help. I will give charity when I can. I've set a budget for that. But a lot of us, we don't distinguish. Bone straight hair is not a need, it's a want. Unless you're 22 and you're trying to be top of the marriage market, then perhaps it might be a need. I might exempt you, my younger sisters, from that. But for the most part, it really isn't a need. It's a want. You can still look beautiful and stylish and gorgeous with braids and locks and all sorts of beautiful hairstyles. It's about confidence. The hair doesn't make you. You're the one who carries the hair. So understand the differences in all these things. In an earlier video, I spoke about school fees and school activities. Not every school activity is a need. Some of them are just wants. Number 7, let's move on to number 7. Ignoring your debt. Now this is a major issue. In my preview, I talked about how, that character had borrowed money to go on vacation. And for her, she's probably going to burn that friendship because she probably doesn't have the money. And it's not a priority for her to pay off that debt because she has current expenses that are running now. that are taking up her attention, her financial attention, her money attention. It's important to understand compound interest is your best friend when you're an investor. Money being made on the interest, simple interest being made on that, plus the principal growing, and you just get that lovely, beautiful, exponential curve. But it's your worst enemy when you owe money, especially if you owe money to a financial institution, such as a bank. It's your worst enemy because every year that you default, there are penalties. Every month you default, you're overdrawn, there are penalties. Your credit is ruined. And now, it was not, in the 90s, I'm betraying my age, but in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, you borrowed from one bank. There was no synergy, no bureau de change, there was no credit bureau. You borrow from GTB, you top over, you lend money. You go to Union Bank, you borrow. You go to First Bank, you borrow. You have like 20 loans. As many banks as they are that will give you a loan, they'll give you a loan, and they wouldn't know that you have borrowed from so many parties. Now, banks are smarter. So if you have a bad loan sitting in GTB, it will affect your ability to access credit in other banks in many situations. You don't want a situation where debt collectors, which is becoming really good big business now. If you're looking for a side hustle, debt collection is one of them. You don't want to be disgraced. You don't want to be embarrassed. You must take care of your debts. On a spiritual level, there are even implications for running away from paying debts that you owe people. So ignoring your debt and not taking care of your debt also forms a very bad habit, which is you don't keep your word. You live beyond your means and you'll just hop and skip. So you mean after you're done with all the banks, you now start hitting up all your friends, and all your friends know, Yemi, she borrows from everybody. You gave her money, no one wants to do business. Oh, don't give her contracts because she won't deliver. She may owe you, and then all she'll be telling you is, I know I'm owing you. But I didn't say I'm not owing you, but saying that you're not owing me is not payment. Have the discipline, develop that discipline to pay your debts if you must take debt. And there are times when you must, especially for business. Number 8, constantly that upgrade, pepper them gang lifestyle. You upgrade your laptop every year. You upgrade your phone every 6 months. You upgrade, this jewelry is old. You upgrade your watch. No. I've driven my car for 3 years. Time to upgrade. Keep upgrading things that aren't bad. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not spoiled. They're still serving you well. They're still beautiful. But you feel that, no, I must upgrade. I've lived in this area for too many years. I need to upgrade to a new house. You change houses like you change clothes. If you can afford it, yeah? But if you can't afford it, if your savings, if your investments, if your assets do not reflect your ability to handle these changes, it's a bad habit that is keeping you poor. That you look well presented, that you drive a beautiful car. There are lots of people in Lagos who they drive very beautiful cars. They can't buy fuel. They go to the fuel station. They have to go to their friend's fuel station because they're going to buy fuel on credit. That's not a way to live. So, I hope with these points I have covered that you'll be able to understand that any of these habits need to be curbed in order to ensure that you can become more prosperous. Work on them. Let's put them away. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to Good Eve and like this video so that the YouTube algorithm can, keep suggesting us to others who may be interested in these topics. Bye for now.